because these Missouri guards can pick your pocket. And so you have to use your body to protect the basketball. You can't put it on your side. You can't put it out there because they'll pick it.
B.J. Edwards hit his first look on that side of the floor. Plavcic keeps it alive, so a new 20 for Tennessee. The Thompson Bowling Arena is typically very loud. It has been quiet the last few minutes. Edwards, the freshman, the Knoxville man, is going to the free throw line to hopefully, put it into this run. It is an extended 26-8 Missouri run since they got down by 5.
Yeah, and it's come off of their defense. It comes off of the way that they have paced the game with their defense. Not just that they've made steals, but I think they've got Tennessee playing a little faster and a little out of sorts than what they like to.
There's Gage, 3 years at Cleveland State. Won there, won the Horizon League a couple of times, went to an NCAA tournament. And you think about Missouri basketball, maybe the last decade. Okay, they won 20 games a few years ago, Conzo Martin's first year, but not many 20-win seasons around that year. Here they are at 18-6, continuing to grow, evolve, and gain confidence as we push deeper into February. Missouri calls the timeout there with 2 minutes to go in the first.
Well, he's using his timeout that you ever have to use or lose. But basically, I can tell you that the players have confidence in how they play. Yesterday, I was at shoot-around, and it was light. I mean,
yeah.
They just kind of shot around. We sat up and talked about old times and different things. Coach Hamilton, his mentor at Florida State,
yep,
and everything, which, he was a part of a ACC championship team at Florida State. So, Coach Gase has been around success for a long time. He doesn't take it for granted, and he's instilled that kind of poise in his ball club. I think for Tennessee, I think it's important for them now that they used to play in this building. Shot pressure. They've got to do a better job offensively getting into what
has to improvise. Back out to Zegas.
And that's what they wanted to with the wide shot. Tennessee likes that out of their guards.
Triples for Missouri. It's a 29-8 run.
And that time he was guarded. I mean, there was a hand up and Arnold still knocked it down.
Just a brilliant shooting first half for the Tigers. Tennessee cold on this end of the floor. Plavcic, high percentage look. He draws the foul. So he's going to the free throw line.
Vescovi can do that. He can create, he can drive the ball and off. But he normally does it, Kevin, out of action, not out of isolation. He's right now, they've got him in isolation, and he's trying to create shots for other people off of that instead of coming off of curls, pin downs, and off of some sort of basketball action. Right now, Tennessee has gone smaller to be able to do a better job of containing the ball and a better job offensively of handling Missouri's pressure.
This is Hodge, pressured by Edwards. Honor works off the Diarra screen, bumping into Plavcic, picks up the dribble and gave it away. So an uncharacteristic giveaway for Missouri in this first half.
Yeah, normally when you drive the ball and get in the paint, you do not want to pick up your dribble. If you don't have anything, you want to have the ability to dribble the ball back out and reset.
Tennessee can get this back to a 9 or a 10-point game inside of a minute in the first half. The last time Missouri was in this building, it knocked off the Vols. That was 2 years ago when they were, again, number 6 of the country. Tennessee does not lose in this building very often the last couple of years.
No, they have great fans. Their kids respond and play well here. And again, Rick Barnes is behind the throttle.
Sean East, after a 15-point game this week, he's got 12 in the first half. Little too much dribbling there. And Vescovi did poke it away, but Missouri keeps it. 9 of the timer. You got about an 8-second differential between shot and game clock.
Coach Gase was trying to tell East, why didn't you go around him? And he said, because I was trying to run the clock down. You know, he could have just spun and went around him. It's interesting, players' responses to coaches when they do something wrong.
I'm sure you're on the receiving end of many of those odd responses. East offline. Diarra regathers, so 6 seconds here for Missouri. Honor works into the corner. East drives, goes up with 1 second. Popchich got it. That heave, though, is after the timer. But Missouri, an impressive first half. They scored 44. That's the most first half points Tennessee has allowed this season. They shoot 52% from the field as well. So the guys are standing by in the studio. We'll go to Dari, Pat, and Ron right now in Charlotte.
All right, guys, thank you much. And wow, how about it? How about Missouri, M-I-Z? They are chanting in the old Midwest. All right, how about this one on the Plains? Game day was there, all kinds of excitement. Alabama and Auburn. Brandon Miller, my goodness.
You got to be careful, Darren, when you get out there across the street. If you don't look left and right, something might be coming right that you didn't expect, and it was a Brandon Miller.
I'm afraid Alan Flanagan did get run over there. Alabama trying for their second ever 12-0 SEC start. Flanagan hits. Auburn goes up 5. Auburn down 1 now. Wendell Green. Look at the shoe issues, but is that a pretty little
I think
floater?
it was distracted his defender a little bit. What's he doing?
A little throw off, huh?
Under control, patient. Boys, he learned a lot, huh?
That's him. That's what he does. And as a freshman, you don't get that a lot of times, especially a guy handling the ball. Different for a guy that's spotting up, but he's a ball handler.
He had 13 in the
Pass the key.
Lost the last meeting. These two played into this building. Tom Wadley shot.
Throws it down 8 times.
Has to improvise back out to see his third punches. To a bad finish at the
Normally it's a big line with someone comes over from the weak side. Tennessee likes that out of their guards.
With an emphatic throwdown. And then Oscar Shibwe, 20 and 14. Remember last time he played Georgia, he had 37 and 24. Next time Georgia sees him, it'll be too soon. Braylon Bridges puts Georgia up 5 after a 3-point play. And then corner 3 coming for Jabri. Abdul, Raheem, and how about it? Sellout at Stegman, and Georgia beats Kentucky at home for the second straight time. They snap a 3-game skid, and they send Kentucky to a second straight loss. Remember the 15-point loss against them. So let's look at the Kentucky situation real quick. Props to Georgia.
Right.
And they got more work to do here, but what's wrong with Kentucky as we see it right now?
Okay. Stay with me, all right? Even in our first highlights, what did you see in that first Kentucky highlight, Georgie? It was the 2 injured players, Frederick and Savia Wheeler.
Wheeler doesn't play that much anyway. He's not a key part to that
Against
rotation.
Georgia, okay, they got 3 hard-driving guards, Roberts, Hill, Oquendo.
Yeah.
You need all the help you can get in the backcourt, Diary. D-man, I'm not giving you excuses. I'm giving you reasons.
I like that. Well, let me tell you this about Bama. This is what you got to understand. Hard hats are on, and they travel. It's not just restricted to being at home. They travel, and they took it to Auburn in the jungle. It can get wild down there. You need a hard hat. Protect you from some things out there in the jungle. Didn't matter. You got a guy like Brandon Miller who plays with patience, gets everybody to do the little things and pay attention to detail on the defensive end. That's right. That's why they won.
Tennessee fans thinking, thank goodness, maybe they won't break down our game. Not the case. We will here in just a matter of moments.
Can't hide.
It's going to be okay, Slick.
We're going to want to hear it. How about Kobe Brown from Missouri? They're up 12.
Interesting piece. Let me bring in my expert.
So many scratches.
Those are from my car keys.
Such a rich history. This won't do well at auction, but at AT&T, it's worth a brand new Samsung Galaxy S23.
Wait, really? What about this?
AT&T's deal is back. Pre-order a free Samsung Galaxy S23 with a Galaxy phone trade-in. Any year, any condition.
This is a community of selfless leaders and lifelong learners. backed by Orange every step of the way. This is the University of Tennessee. We give our all to discovery, to creativity, to each other. The world needs volunteers now more than ever, willing to step forward, light the way, and do whatever it takes. It takes a volunteer.
College basketball, man, this is fun. When the lights are on, the popcorn's popping, it's time to get your game going. I'm your beautiful baby. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. Players game, I'm telling you. Ready to win. I love it, baby. It's a good to have you, child. Great card in here that you know I love.
Out here, a patch of dirt becomes a proving ground. A place where legends like Pat and Dale turn hard-scrabble lives into hard-earned glory. Because when you grow up fearless, fighting for what's right, fighting for equality, and the right to wear the crown, well, that just comes with the territory. ESPN Films presents Southern Hoops, a history of SEC basketball Part 3, Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network, presented by Pfizer-BioNTech.
Southern Hoops Part 3, a history of SEC basketball, coming your way Monday, 9 Eastern, SEC Network. All right, how about Vandy? Tough, right? Tough as nails. We talk about this team taking on a Florida team that needs to win more if they want to have a shot at that tournament. But Vandy playing awfully well, a couple straight wins. The one against Tennessee, how about that pretty floater by Trey Thomas, who had 16 points. But it was Liam Robbins. I'm telling you. You tell me NBA people aren't starting to pay attention to that dude? With the range he's got?
He's giving them no reason not to, right? Like, good.
He protects the rim. He doesn't shy away from contact.
He had 3 of 4 from 3, 32 points, a career high 10 rebounds. Vanderbilt with a third straight win. How about Mississippi State, Arkansas? This game going on right now. Anthony Black hits that, ties it at 12, but look at State up 6, and Cam Matthews, no. Tolu Smith, yes.
Man, big fella's getting downhill shooting.
They're so good defensively. Mississippi State, you got to get creative on offense. Or make tough shots like Anthony Black did.
They've out-rebounded Arkansas 20-12 here at the half right now. 34-25 Mississippi State leading on the road. So they in Missouri, big road leads right now. How about Alabama, or rather, I'm sorry, Ole Miss, South Carolina?
Hayden Brown just looking for a seat. Sit on the rim, son.
But he had 18 points in the game.
He had the headband on.
Oh, I love that part.
Ooh,
tip of the cap to you.
Javius McInnes, little putback throwdown. Ole Miss up 5.
Oh, it's a quick
South Carolina trying to snap an 8-game streak, and they do. Jacoby Wright helping seal the deal. And South Carolina off that schneid. All right, what have we seen and what will we see coming up? Sean East for 3, rather Nick Honor for 3. Tigers up a dozen.
Allergy sufferers. Bedtime means it's time to take Zysol. Zysol relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin, and on first dose, provides the same relief as Zyrtec in a pill nearly half the size. Be wise all. Take Zysol at night.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is here for everyone who loves to get out there and have some fun. With the best brands in the game like Nike and Adidas, plus stylish activewear from our exclusive Freely brand, we've got what you need to play or train your way. There's so much gear to discover at your Academy store, or you can shop on the Academy app and pick up in-store today. Have fun out there with Academy.
As a young man, my hair started to thin. I couldn't sleep, I was stressed about it, and there were few options out there. Nutrafol is a drug-free, natural supplement that gave me my hair, my health, and my confidence back.
Get started at Nutrafol.com/man.
It begins with the flicker of an idea. And when that idea happens, in a place made for creative, collaborative thinkers, that idea can transform you.
How about this? You know, softball started on Thursday. Alex Honnold in Missouri. Honnold, doing some damage. And they knock off number 8 Northwestern 6-1. Oh, my goodness. There are baby pigs in Fayetteville. We just, Luke, do people a favor and show the baby pigs.
Please.
They are adorable right now in Fayetteville. You can't show us because that's not our game. That's not our game. Oh, my God. Okay, late show. We got to have baby pigs.
There it is.
Oh, my God.
Do they run? Like, do they race? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's my question. He heard me. He's squealing.
He's trying to get away.
That's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
They need to run the Rockets up.
All right.
Do something on the floor.
Get back on task. I've been told we might bring that back later. All right, look at this. You're Missouri. I'm not going to let you play Tennessee.
Okay, that's fine.
How do you lock this thing up? Great first half. How do you close it out in the second?
Well, if you can continue to shoot over 50% from everywhere, then you got a great opportunity. You got guys, you got complimentary guys coming off the bench. Sean East bringing you big-time minutes, big-time points, perfect from the floor. You got to keep continuing to play through Kobe Brown on the offensive end. And on defense, it's a hand in their face every time, shooter. Like, you couldn't read your notes if I did you like this. That's what they got going on.
I'm just watching baby pigs. I don't even care what y'all are saying right now. I got them on a TV here in front of me. It's unbelievable. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
They got bandanas on.
All right, you're Tennessee. Get back in this thing.
You got 7 turnovers. Yeah. That sparks Missouri what they want to do. Slow the game down. It's going to be important for Ziegler and Vescovy to do that in offense because Missouri wants to run. You got to play your style.
Because Ziegler stayed out of foul trouble, shooter.
And he's in foul trouble.
This is the second game in a row foul trouble.
Huge opportunity for Mizzou to close this out. We'll see if Tennessee can make a run. Second half is next. Tyreek Key going to need to be one of those keys for Tennessee to get him back. Second half coming right up from TBA.
In SEC sports, the ifs are non-stop. If you're game day ready. If your team can win on the road. If that three-pointer beats the buzzer. If you love the tradition, the rivalry, the edge of your seat action on and off the court, we're right there with you. As the official bank of the SEC. Sorry.
We just can't help you with the ifs in sports. Regions helps you embrace the if in life.
Let's talk money on Monday.
Here we go, Billy. Swing hard, buddy.
At Auto Owners Insurance, we know you. We know every Saturday your son Billy plays Little League. We sponsor his team. And we know you love parking way too close to the field. That's why we tailor a unique policy for you and your car. Because sometimes something from out of left field can literally come from out of left field. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you. Hey, Billy.
Out here, a patch of dirt becomes a proving ground. A place where legends like Pat and Dale turn hardscrabble lives into hard-earned glory. Because when you grow up fearless, fighting for what's right, fighting for equality, and the right to wear the crown, well, that just comes with the territory. ESPN Films presents Southern Hoops, a history of SEC basketball Part 3, Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network, presented by Pfizer-BioNTech.
College basketball, man, this is fun. When the lights are on, the popcorn's popping, it's time to get your game going. I'm your vehicle, baby. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. Players game, I'm telling you. Ready to win. I love baby. So good to have you, child. Great God in heaven, you know I love. Oh, you know I do.
Second half in Knoxville about to begin. Let's look back in the first. Perry, Missouri turned the pressure up in that first half.
All off of their defense, and I tell you, it made everything go, especially when Mr. East got in the game. He totally disrupted it defensively. He knocked down threes. He got this Missouri engine really running, and it caused a lot of problems and frustrations for Tennessee in that first half.
Boy, how about just the anticipation there on that latest Sean E. steal, the basket. So he leads the way for everybody with 12 points. And, you know, not just the defensive pressure. Look on the left side there. Offensively as well, they started to overwhelm Tennessee with those shots from deep. 8 out of 16 from beyond the arc, led by as many as 14. Oh, by the way, on the road, they're in Knoxville today.
Without question, and I tell you, their defense created easy opportunities, but then got their confidence up, and then they knocked down a couple of tough shots, and all of a sudden you've got an avalanche offensively, and that's what Missouri is bringing to the party right now. A team that has a lot of confidence. But don't count this Tennessee team out. This is a team that is tough. I'm sure Coach has gotten after them defensively to lock in, expect them to turn up the ball pressure, and also be able to handle the ball better so they don't turn it over.
Well, they're going to be still in this second half without, there's the man in the middle, Josiah Jordan-James. That's the senior captain, the leader, he's officially out for tonight. He did not play in the first half. Was announced that he would miss today before the game with the left ankle sprain. That was suffered in the loss on Wednesday to Vandy. Other bit of news as well. Julian Phillips does not start on the court in the second half. He is questionable to return with a hip flexor. Tennessee could have used that three from Santiago Vescovi.
Now, what both Phillips and James being out, what that does is those are two guys that operate from the elbow, and they can drive it, pass it, and make decisions when they catch the ball on the elbow out of the Tennessee offense.
Look at Boyd Hodge, the back cut right to the rim, and he puts it in.
That was a set play. They expect Tennessee to come out with heavy ball pressure, so they opened up the floor, and they were able to get a good back cut out of that.
How about the extended run that the Tigers went on to close the first half? A 29-12 run. Ziegler, that little shimmy, freed him up for a moment, but he watched the three go down and out. And that's a couple here in this first few minutes that have just missed. Hodge misfires.
But part of what Tennessee does is they get balance between their perimeter guys and their post guys. And they play James at the 4, which allows them to have a post guy that can score the ball. Phillips can play the 4. He can score in the post. Now they really don't have a post guy that plays at the elbows that can make decisions and also make shots.
The rotation just disrupted. Missouri looking for, you can make the case, what would be its biggest win of the year. They beat Iowa State, the 12th ranked Cyclones, a couple of weeks ago as part of the challenge. And that was at home. Brown, aggressive take. He draws the foul. He's going to go to the free throw line. Many Tigers are saying, was that one touched after it hit the window?
But see where Brown is driving from. He's driving from the elbow. I think that is the most effective place for bigs to catch the ball and be able to operate, because it's hard to help from when a guy gets the ball right there at that elbow. Because if you help from the corner, you can get a shot there. So most of the time it's isolation. And Brown that time caught it there at the elbow and attacked the basket and got fouled. But that's where both James and Phillips also operate from. And now Tennessee does not have that part of their offensive structure.
That's what's missing. And there's James, so missing his, this is the 9th game he's missed this year. Missed 8 earlier in the season. But let's go back to Brown for a second. The senior, I mean, all SEC caliber years. Some are saying, is he a player of the year candidate? You coached against him when he was a freshman. How has he evolved, though?
Good coaching. I mean, his patience in developing his skill set. There you see Missouri on another steal.
Yep. Again. Boy, they really overwhelm you, or can. You mentioned the word avalanche before. It feels that way on both ends.
Well, what happens is they guard you, then you think you beat them, and they pop the ball from behind. That's why you have to keep your body between the defender and the ball, or you got to keep the ball out in front of you if you've got them beat, because they're trying to swat it from behind.
Turnovers force one thing. The steals, that can be much more debilitating. That can lead to points very quickly. Brown, what does he do? He says, I'll stay put and stick the 3. Made the right decision.
Well, again, he's playing in a comfort zone. You know when a guy's in a comfort zone, what you try to do defensively, and what Tennessee has been successfully doing throughout this year is getting guys out of their comfort zone through their ball pressure.
Man, how many times has Tennessee been down by 17 this year? Kamwa, that's an important one. Nice response.
Kamwa is the guy that can play there at the elbow, but he's much more comfortable in the low post.
Here's Golston, goes chest to chest right into Key, and he scores it.
All of the Missouri players are really good one-on-one players. So they look to isolate, and they're comfortable isolating. And the other guys don't mind when a guy is in an isolation offensive set.
Vescovy rises, connects. Santiago Vescovy's been one of the better three-point shooters the last several years in the SEC. The senior's got his second. This is Brown, launches again. Got it! Kobe Brown, tongue out, 3 up.
I tell you, they've got to get a different matchup on him right now because he's feeling it. He turned to the bench after he made that and starts shaking his head like, I can do this all day. When a guy's in a zone like that, you have to do something to disrupt it.
He's got 15. What would you do defensively now moving forward?
I would try to no-touch him. And I would certainly take the guy that was guarding him off of him because right now he's got a license to steal from him.
Boy, really feeling it. So he is one of 3 Tigers in double figures. We mentioned East had the 12 in the first half. Hodge has 11. Just over the course of a game, Kobe, he gets his. He's averaging about 16 points a game.
Well, here's the beautiful thing is that they've got one-on-one players, but they're able to do their one-on-one action in a team situation.
Vescovy, no. Tapped back by Meshack, couldn't get it to go. Adu draws the foul, so he is at the free throw line when we come back to Knoxville. Tennessee.
Knocking down the 3. They need more of that, definitely. And there's Brown with the answer.
Feeling it tonight, Coach.
There's a reason why it's called a possession. It's not just who has the ball, but the opportunity. From Lexington to Nashville to Columbia, possession means this moment has your name on it. All you have to do is take it. So be ready and don't miss your shot. Pfizer and the SEC remind fans there are new COVID-19 boosters designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. Learn more at vaccine.
Tigers, the best start in the women's program history.
LSU and South Carolina, the 2 undefeated teams.
South Carolina is so much that any opponent has to deal with.
Monster game tomorrow, USC and LSU, 23-0 each. Okay, nothing's changed since you left Columbia. Yeah.
I'm going to be there. That's going to may be the Super Bowl. I tell you what, Don Staley's got that building rocking. They are exciting, and LSU's coming in. You better hold on to your hats for that one. I'm telling you, it is sold out.
That is it. That's a brilliant Super Bowl appetizer. So who will remain unbeaten? So okay, wow. By the way, look at this score. Here's Tennessee is down 16. This is only the 3rd time this year that Tennessee is trailed by double digits. Now look, Perry. On one hand, that means 1. Tennessee's a really good basketball team. We know that. But rarely have they fell behind by this many, and at home, no less.
They haven't. The ball, they've gotten a little frustrated because of the pressure and not being able to get the ball where they wanted it. They've had some turnovers, which they normally don't do, that has created easy opportunities. And Missouri has thrown some in from the parking lot, even being guarded. So that's been a combination. But this thing is not over yet. I mean, Tennessee's going to make a run. You know it's coming.
Remember, no James tonight, left ankle sprain. Julian Phillips questionable to return in the second half. Sounds dubious. We haven't seen him get off the bench yet. Missouri has made 10 threes. They're right at their season average.
Yeah, but Tennessee has been the first one to blink because they've changed their lineup. They're small now. And the thing was Missouri going to have to go big, but Tennessee has gone small.
Oh, how about this with the shot clock draining. Adu with the rebound up ahead to Ziegler. Now the Vols in a hurry. This is key. A attacks, puts it up. He got bumped on the way in, so it's a Missouri foul, and it's only the third team foul.
So they got Key in the game, Ziegler's in the game. They've gone smaller now at the guard, so now they've got better ball handling in the perimeter, and trying to adjust that way to compete with Missouri's defensive pressure and offensive threes.
That formula has the Tigers ahead by 14. East and Honor start to hound Key. Key steps into it. No, Mayshak puts it back in. Crashes the glass nicely.
Maychak is another offensive wing. They're trying to match now the speed of Missouri. This crowd is starting to come alive. Don't count the balls out quite yet.
Here's Brown starting to pour it in. He's got 15. Figures out his attack. Barges into Mayshak, throws it up. He draws the foul. And I think they got Mayshak in the act of shooting. So that's 2 for Brown coming up.
What Coach Barnes wants to do, it seems like he's going with his best perimeter defensive team. Guys that can guard the ball off the dribble, because that's what Missouri is really good at.
So now you put Mizzou at the line where they've only taken 5 free throws. They're 2 of 5. They're better from 3 than at the line. With this team, that's not abnormal. Brown, though, 80% at the stripe. Again, he's just been so consistent, effective all year long, playing at an all-SEC type level. So our next Thursday night women's hoops doubleheader, it features the Tennessee Lady Vols in Arkansas to get things started at 7 Eastern. And then you got Ole Miss against those third-ranked LSU Tigers. Again, they're unbeaten. They have the massive showdown against South Carolina tomorrow. Remember that doubleheader on the SEC Network.
And now you see that Missouri's coming with the pressure. And again, East is in the game. He was the guy that kind of ignited the run.
Tennessee running its stuff. Key skips into the paint. Vescovy lost it. Ziegler collects. Key is now open. Puts it up. Puts it in. Big 3, Tennessee back within 11. Corner, Hodge, the answer. It seems like Missouri's got an answer for everything tonight.
They can score the ball. I think the nation needs to understand that this Missouri team can really score the basketball. And when they do it, it's not surprising.
59 points, 11 threes. Again, they average 82 a game. That's a foul on Honor.
What is interesting, you see, Missouri, Tennessee right now is playing without their bigs. They're going smaller. They're spacing the floor. They're trying to get dribble penetration and kicking. And there you see Hodge reciprocating with the 3.
That's a contested 3. Mayshak draws the foul. And that's going to be the first on Hodge.
But it's almost like Tennessee has conceded that our bigs, that we need to go small so we can guard you. And we can't do it by playing the big lineup right now.
Ziegler, Key, Vescovy, Mayshak, the 4 guards, plus the big man underneath. That's Tobe Awaka, the freshman from New York, headed to the free throw line. And that's the 3rd foul on Kobe Brown.
Now, one of the things that Missouri was concerned with was fouling. And one of the stats that they keep is making sure that the other team doesn't go to the foul line and have more foul attempts than they have made. So they're very cautious and conscious of not fouling.
Tennessee is now 9 of 11 at the stripe, so they've been effective, haven't gotten there that often. Boy, how good is Ncaa been this year? The freshman draws praise from Rick Barnes. Every game, every practice, he continues to raise the bar. Although he misses that time, and so Mizzou's got it. Up by 14 in Knoxville. Hodge from that same spot. Almost back-to-back. Tapped out to Ziegler. Tennessee lost at the buzzer on Wednesday. A true buzzer beater with a 2-point lead. Tyron Lawrence buried him with a triple at the horn.
And, and there was a lot of conversation when Tennessee got the ball up 2 and the guy dribbled the ball out instead of going and trying to
Phillips,
score.
yep.
Phillips. Yeah, as a coach, it was really it's what they're taught. We're up. We've run some more time off. They got Vescovi at the foul line, their best foul shooter. So I think he made the right decision in what is normally taught by the coaches in time and score situations. It just didn't work. And sometimes in this game, Kevin, you can do everything right and it turns out wrong.
Correct.
So it was just one of those things.
Yeah, Phillips has had again, freshman, a lot of pressure placed on his shoulders. He started and appeared in every game, but he's handled himself very nicely this year. All right, so Tennessee back within 12. A little bit of that backcourt pressure. Honor, though, boy, he's been a really savvy veteran point guard at times for Mizzou. That pass, though, just right to Key, takes it away. Eyes up on the move, into the paint, right hand, no. Ncaa, offensive board, and then there's a whistle.
Ncaa's come in and done a really good job on the glass. And again, with Tennessee going small, they're still doing a good job on the glass.
And so he draws the foul. It's the third on Hodge. All of a sudden, Demoy Hodge has been whistled for 3 fouls in the second half. Boy, yeah, he really is a one-man wrecking crew inside, Ncaa. You know, and he plays about 9 minutes a game, that's all. But lately, those minutes have increased. The offensive rebounding rate is off the charts. Again, he knows his role. He buys into it, plays hard.
You know, Kevin, but if you're an NCAA team, and if your team going for a championship, it's not all talent, it's heart.
Sure.
It's toughness, it's dedication. Those things get tested along the way. And those virtues right now are being tested by Missouri against Tennessee. And that's why I'm telling you this Tennessee team is going to respond.
Vescovi whistled for the hand check. So that's just the third team foul on Tennessee. You look at the other side, Mizzou has been whistled now for 8. So Tennessee in the bonus already with 12:42 to go.
And Rick is telling Vescovi, you know, don't try to steal it. Just put pressure on him. You're not going to take the ball from him.
This is Honor, spins, blocked. Meshack, terrific timing. And he lets out a roar afterward. Then the foul, ball back to Tennessee.
This is an important time of the game right now. It's important for Missouri to keep their composure, continue to execute, because this game is not over. And they're going to have to make some defensive stops. They're going to have to make a couple baskets to be able to get out of here.
Look, Tennessee's a very good free throw shooting team. That foul on Honor, again, it sends the Vols back to the line. They are at the free throw line the rest of the way. And now you have a better shooter at the stripe. That's Tyreek Key, around 75% this year. The 6th-year senior, you know, he started the second half with Phillips out. He's been a consistent jump shooter. Started at Indiana State, prolific scorer. Remember, he grew up in Salina, Tennessee, town of about 1,500. That's it, and here he is playing.
And believe me, Rick Barnes puts these guys through a grinder. He put them in tough situations before in practice.
Mizzou's got to deal with the crowd now. East, yeah, he finds some separation, and that's a cylinder foul, I think is what Pat Adams is going to call on Vescovi.
Yes.
Even though you kind of saw a little bit of the arm move there.
Yeah.
But I think Adams is going to say that's the cylinder. You got to give him some space.
Yeah, and that's where he's stepping up into his cylinder, which is a foul. You can't do that. That's the correct call. This is a veteran crew now. They're not going to fall for too many okie dokes.
Yeah, you know, on that look too, there was not much contact.
No.
There's Brown. He's been in this building several times. Rises with the right hand. Rebound down to Rwaka. Tennessee's got it back to single digits. Meshack out to Key. It's up.
That was a well-designed play. Again, Tennessee is spreading the floor. They're going without a permanent post. And they're looking to drive, kick, and knock down the three to get back in this ball game.
Down on the Bayou in 1971, College Temple Jr. became LSU's first black varsity basketball player. As a senior, Temple earned first-team All-SEC honors, a member of the LSU basketball team of the century. He was inducted into the LSU Athletics Hall of Fame in 2017. Two of Temple's sons, Collis III and Garrett, followed in his footsteps and played basketball for the Tigers. SEC Network honors College Temple Jr. and celebrates Black history always.
I'm a screen-addicted tween, and if I'm not posting on social media, I don't feel seen. Hey, Mom, look. Mom? Oh, my God, Mom, you gotta look at this.
Nope. Keeping my eyes on the road is paying off with Drivewise. Post about that.
Boring. Oh, say cheese. No, thank you. Unblock me. Stop. That was awesome. Hey, what's your ad? I'll tag you. Get Drivewise from Allstate. Save 40% for avoiding mayhem, like me.
Which NFL players depend on Sleep Number? Boom, circle him. All these guys do. Yeah, this beast. Guys that do the gritty do. Turns out 80% of NFL players have a Sleep Number 360 smart bed. It's game-changing sleep only from Sleep Number.
We're Carvana. We've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Go to Carvana, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. We'll come to you, pay you on the spot, then pick up your car. That's it. At Carvana.
Tennessee now back within 6 after being down by as many as 17 earlier in this half. Perry, they're on an 8-0 run, and Tyree Key is starting to hit some shots in this four-guard lineup.
Give the credit to the old ball coach over there, Rick Barnes. I said he was the first to blink because he figured I can't get this done with my bigs. I've got to go with a different lineup to work tonight. He's gone with a smaller lineup, and they've been very, very effective with it.
8-0 run, so it has him back within 6. And then, yeah, so 10 of Tyree Key's 12 coming after halftime. He's hit a couple of triples. And, hey, we've alluded to that. It's a great point you bring up. All year, I think, there have been a lot of teams that say, how do we deal with Tennessee's size and height? Missouri has countered tonight, maybe said, hey, how are you going to deal with our smaller four-guard lineup? And you're right, Rick Barnes has had to adjust, and his team has responded as well.
I tell you, I mean, Rick is one of the best coaches in college basketball, and he's not asleep at the wheel. He watched, he evaluated, and what you have to do as a coach is figure out tonight, what do I have to do? We call it landing the plane.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to land the plane? All right, you got 40 minutes to land the plane. What do we have to do to land the plane? And so going with a smaller lineup has allowed him to have the best chance to land the plane with his team. And the other part of it is they haven't turned it over, Tennessee, so Missouri hasn't got any easy shots.
It's going to stay here. There was a little turbulence at 30,000, by the way, a few minutes ago. But Mizzou's 17-point lead is all but erased. Another quick timeout in Knoxville.
Interesting piece. Let me bring in my expert.
So many
many scratches.
Those are from my car keys.
Such a rich history. This won't do well at auction, but at AT&T, it's worth a brand new Samsung Galaxy S23.
Wait, really? What about this?
AT&T's deal is back. Pre-order a free Samsung Galaxy S23 with a Galaxy phone trade-in. Any year, any condition.
Confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Tennessee's offense has woken up in this second half.
Well, it is because they started spacing the floor. They're looking to penetrate and kick the shooters, and they start knocking down shots. You see it's pretty much an open post, and they're trying to drive the ball and kick it off to the shooters, and they've gone with that as opposed to trying to pound the ball into the low post and take advantage of their size.
And so Tennessee on an 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Coming up on the midway point of this second half. Mizzou led by as many as 17. They are looking for what would be considered their best win of the season. Meanwhile, Tennessee, look, Rick Barnes' squad, they don't lose back-to-back. They've lost 5 times this year. The first 4 they responded with a win. So trying to stave off back-to-back defeats, and especially at home, a place in which, gosh, what are they? 28-1 inside this place. Their last 29, stretching over the last 2 years. This has been an entertaining game.
Very much so. And I tell you, this is a game that's going to matter a lot to both of these two teams in their development as the season winds down.
Oh, Ziegler slaps it away. Good sleight of hand. And so now it's Tennessee turning up the pressure defensively. This is Meshack, drive and kick. Vescovy, that great head fake. Carter, though, recovers. Now Meshack into Brown, draws the foul. And that's number 4 on Kobe Brown with 11:08 to go.
That's a huge foul.
Yeah.
That's a huge foul. Because Kobe Brown has been really the stabilizing force for this Mizzou team. Now some other guys are going to have to step up.
You see the surprised look on Dennis Gates' face. He knows decisions will need to be made. And you see Brown's impact, 17 points tonight.
Without question, he's been a catalyst for this Missouri team.
No one at the scorer's table, so Brown remains on the floor. Although Aiden Shaw now is going to get up, and yeah, he will check in for Brown.
Look for Mizzou now to extend their pressure. Look for them now to spread the floor. And East has to step up.
Meshack, after hitting the free throw, has to pay for his transgression. Now he is whistled for the foul. It's the 3rd on Meshack, the sophomore from Fontana, California.
East and Golston has to be now the 2 guys that have to step up and create plays in the half court. It's almost like a pickup game in the park. We started with big guys, now we set all the big guys down, and now the guards are taking over.
Yeah. East is looking, finds Golston. Honor sets the screen. Golston got a little height advantage over Ziegler. Bumping into him. Vescovy knocked it away for a moment. That's good defense. Golston, oh, somehow a circus one off the window that time. He held the pivot foot and was able to bank it in.
And I said that because he and East are the 2 best one-on-one players on the team. And right now, the Tennessee's defense is so good, you have to have good one-on-one players.
Mistake that time by Vescovy. Took his eyes off the ball. Golston open, triggers it. Yes! 5 straight and quick ones, I should say, for Missouri. Back up by 10.
Boy, this game is so important to both of these two teams. They're both finding out something about themselves that are really going to matter in March.
These two players in this building. Lead shot clock is improvised. Acrobatic finish at the court. Great.
There, you see Brown straight drive there. Normally it's a big someone comes with the wide shot there. Tennessee likes that out of their guards.
Rebound down to Key. Kicks it out to Vescovy. Key, another. Yes! Has ignited.
But the key thing right now is Tennessee's offensive rebounding, and they're doing it being small. They didn't dominate the offensive glass when they were big, but all of a sudden they go small, and they're dominating the offensive glass. They're getting second and third chances, and this Tennessee team is fought back. There you see Key spotting up and knocking down the shot. Yeah, he's a really good shooter, and he's stepping up tonight. They're giving him good looks, and he's knocking them down. But the biggest thing is they're not turning the ball over. And when the Vols are not turning the ball over, Missouri not getting easy shots. Now, all of a sudden, we got a ball game.
Tyreek Key has 16 of his 18 after halftime. Tennessee's 6 of 11 from deep this half, to your point. This is a much more effective offense.
Well, as you make the run for the NCAA tournament, you have to find out certain things about yourself, and certain people have to step up, and you have to have some toughness. You have to have some heart. You've got to go through some fire. You have to do that. That's just part of the course. And for Tennessee to be able to have 2 starters not playing and to step up and to win this game would be huge. For Missouri to be able to come into Tennessee and get a win would be huge. So this game has so many repercussions beyond just the winning and losing that can be carried over into March.
Just 2 high-caliber NCAA tournament caliber teams. Tennessee, a couple of games behind Alabama at the top of the SEC standings. Oh, wild pass from Carter that time. Hit the backboard, and so Mizzou gives it away. Tennessee with quite a bit of momentum after trailing by 17 earlier this half, back within 4. Vescovy finds Key, another drive. He gets hammered, and he's going to the free throw line.
The more Tennessee plays with the smaller lineup, the more they get comfortable with it, with back cuts and spacing. There you see a great back cut, and they got fouled, but they're getting more comfortable with how they're playing against this. And the biggest thing is they stopped turning it over.
Yeah. Yeah, in the second half, Tennessee, just 2 turnovers. That's it. Tyreek Key with 19, a new season high. He's the very mild-mannered, 6th-year senior, low heartbeat, quiet at times, but the shooting ability in his game very loud tonight.
Well, he plays like he's been here before.
Yep.
And so that's important. Now this Missouri team has to step up. They've got to show some poise.
Golston getting hounded. Still time to get it across before the 10-second count, and then Carter just takes it straight to the rim. Diarra gets whistled for the foul, and Vescovy's going to the line. That's 4 on Diarra. And now this foul discrepancy starting to become a factor.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things that concerned Missouri, that Tennessee would wind up shooting more, making more fouls than they got an opportunity to shoot, because they're really shooting 3-pointers and not taking the ball to the basket.
And not like they've shot poorly from deep or less effectively from deep in the second half. To your point, they've given it away one too many times. Look at the free throw numbers. So Tennessee has made 14 more at the stripe
And it's not officiating. I mean, this is a great officiating crew. It's style of play. Tennessee is attacking the basket, even with the smaller lineup. They've got better ball handlers in the game than what they had earlier. They're attacking the basket.
So Perry, there he is, Kobe Brown back on the floor with the 4 fouls. Feels like Gates had to do it, no?
Yeah, you can't fall behind here in Knoxville and think you're going to catch up.
From down 17 to knot it up again. Tennessee is back. East lobs it to Brown. Catches 15 feet away. Got the smaller key. Turns, fades. No. Ziegler wide open. No. This one might have been last touched by Missouri, and it is. So the Vols get it back. When we return, there's 8 minutes to go. They were down 17. Now they're knotted up 64 all in TBA.
Here's my dip.
Yes, sweet! Did you bring yourself a layer dip?
Yeah, but it's just 7 layers of beans.
Resourceful. Or did you invite all your friends to watch your favorite team?
They're losing, but that's okay.
So sweet, so unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you pretend to like sports, or your girlfriend's dad would like you better?
What? No, I love sports.
Me too.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. It's what you deserve. Move out the way.
We don't just move forward, we move minds. We move hearts. We move together. Every play, every game, every day. We never back off. We never stop moving. That's our move. Women's college basketball on SEC Network.
Now a great end zone touchdown. Austin to the right. That's a touchdown. Smashing the rim. Wilson hooking it up to Burns. Tatum step back 3.
Out here, a patch of dirt becomes a proving ground. A place where legends like Pat and Dale turn hard-scrabble lives into hard-earned glory. Because when you grow up fearless, fighting for what's right, fighting for equality, and the right to wear the crown, well, that just comes with the territory. ESPN Films presents Southern Hoops, a history of SEC basketball Part 3, Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network, presented by Pfizer-BioNTech.
Hey, remember, Monday night, SEC Inside grants you the all-access pass to the Vanderbilt women's hoops basketball team at 10 Eastern. And then we're going to go all-access with the Georgia men's program that just took down Kentucky earlier today. A big win at home for Mike White's squad. So never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches. Real behind-the-scenes look right here on the SEC Network.
And I will tell you, that is really behind the scenes. They legitimately show just about everything.
You were in front of the camera for some of those back a few years ago.
It's very interesting. You know, I think what Coach Gates would have loved to do was hold Brown to about the 4-minute timeout. But he can't let this game get away, so he's going zone right now to try to conserve and make sure that they don't try to isolate Brown and get the last foul.
Perry, Tennessee on a, now it's a 22-5 run. And they retake the lead for the first time since the first half. Vescovy. A monumental 3.
It's the first time he's looked up and not had a Missouri jersey in his face.
They pressured him all evening. Hodge now in the corner. Could have used it. Vescovy the board. Boy, Tennessee has just ignited It's a 13-0 run. Ziegler swerves around Brown, has to play cautious, dumps it off. A walk-up miss. Got his own miss and scores it.
And again, give Coach Barnes all the credit to going with the small lineup. He has changed the face of this basketball game. He said, I can't do it with my bigs. I need to match. I can get better ball handling. There's Vescovy with the three right there coming off the action. There's Walker right there finishing around the rim.
Yeah, and Diarra playing with 4 fouls as well. He was cautious. Great decision that time. Diarra hammers it. You know, and Brown, the decision to lob it down the floor to Hodge, it works.
That's what you need. You need an easy basket to get yourself back.
Missouri taking on a lot of water. They're trying not to go under. Vescovy got one man in the air. Key, the hot hand. There's a walk-up. Another offensive board. Always crashes heading to the free throw line.
Brown has to be careful on that. He couldn't really make a hard block out because he couldn't pick up his 5th foul. There you see, the Walker does not get blocked out, and he just really crashes the glass hard.
Brown playing with those 4 fouls. The latest goes against Mohamed Diarra. And so Dennis Gates has decisions to make because Diarra has now fouled out. Brown playing with the 4 fouls. Remember, no Isaiah Mosley, another senior in the lineup. He is not with the team today. Trey Gamillion still out. So now that rotation shortens a little bit in the crunch time.
It really does. And Missouri's got to figure out a way to score the ball right now. And, you know, we talked about this Tennessee defense at the beginning. Missouri was able to score because of the turnovers and the pace of the game. The pace of the game is slowed down because they're not getting the turnovers. Now they've got to score in the half court.
Mizzou lucks out because Awaka misses both. Trying to feed Brown to the left hand. Vescovy was expecting it, tried to jump the pass, and he's whistled for his 3rd foul.
Vescovy is a very feisty and smart basketball player. He knew that if he caught the ball on the block, he was in trouble, so he reached around and gambled to make the steal and wound up picking up a foul.
So the next Tennessee foul will send Missouri to the free throw line. East to inbound. Here's Brown going to work with the right hand. That's good.
I would go after that matchup. I don't think Vescovy can guard Brown. I would go after that matchup if that's the way Tennessee wants to play it.
And that's now 19 for Kobe Brown. Back-to-back buckets for Mizzou as this a 1-point game. Getting deeper into this one. Key has been electric in the second half. He's got 20, little bit of space. Makes him pay again.
But you can't run off of him. Missouri doesn't live in their zone, but you can't run off the Key.
Aiden Shaw was cutting, and it's out of bounds, Missouri. Ball back to the Vols, 5:17 to go.
There you see they're in the zone. The guard had Key. He goes back to play the other guard. The wing doesn't come out, and Key buries the 3.
Now, 2 years ago, he scored 34 in a game for Indiana State. But tonight, he's got, yeah, there it is, and make it 23. He's hit 5 triples. A new Tennessee high, one of his best shooting performances of his career, you could say.
He's a really good scorer. Brown is just coming out right now, and the reason he's coming out is he's trying to save him to the under 4 timeout.
Yep. High-level game. Tennessee once down 17 in this half. Back up by 4. Trying to avoid back-to-back losses for the first time in 2 years, which is impressive enough. Ziegler with 8 to shoot. Into the paint. Dishes it to Adu. The hammer.
Ziegler doing what he does well, driving and kicking.
Now East hits the runner. To silence the crowd, maybe rile them up a little bit. Oh, and then that time Hodge gets whistled for the personal.
You have to have patience. That was just a silly foul right there.
That's the 4th on Hodge. How about this dish?
I mean, this is big time. Ziegler, great drive, dumping the ball off. And again, Tennessee, look, Ziegler is a magician with the basketball, and he's able now to play and stabilize this Tennessee offense. Now you put Adu back in the game, so now you've got some rim protection.
Ziegler, when he dishes it to Adu, he didn't even look. He started the celebration. He was fairly confident he made the right decision there. So it's the 4th points, assist, double-double for Zakai Ziegler this year. Yeah, look at the reaction. It's like, listen, you already know what's about to happen.
We work on that in practice.
Yeah. A very confident, he's full of courage, a sophomore. He does not lack the passion and the zeal that's necessary. His club's up by 6 after the free throws.
Rick Barnes is taking the timeout. What he's doing in this timeout is making sure defensively that they understand and they take away what Missouri is going to try to do with maybe isolating Brown or getting East a shot or ghosting a shot. Those are the 3 guys that you have to be very aware of where they are and not give up a 3-point bucket right now.
Again, it's not like Mizzou has played poorly in the second half. Perry, they're shooting 53% from the floor. They've hit 4 threes. Tennessee has just woken up offensively.
Well, again, I mean, these are 2 really good basketball teams.
Yep.
And this game is going to really be something that both of these teams can grow from.
Plus, Tennessee has made 17 more free throws. Now the pressure, the Vols have turned it up a notch. Ahead by 6.
That
foul on Ziegler, though.
Yeah, but that's not what Rick wanted. He would have rather him go underneath of that screen.
Because now that's bonus free throws.
Yeah.
1-and-1 is coming here for Mizzou.
Yeah.
Two teams in the top half of the SEC standings. No doubt tournament caliber teams. Tennessee, now while they're right behind Alabama, they're a couple of games back now. The Tide, they won that battle in Auburn. They outlasted the Tigers. Now 12-0. Is anybody going to catch Bama? Right behind them, Texas A&M, and then Tennessee with the 8-3 record.
There's a lot of basketball, but they're taking Brown out right now. They're going offense, defense right now, taking Brown out so he doesn't pick up a foul. They really want to utilize him after the 4-minute timeout. But Alabama's playing really lights out basketball. And it's not so much catching right now, is preparing for the SEC tournament.
Yes.
And positioning yourself in the SEC tournament so you're bracketed so that you can advance in it. That's part of what's on coaches' minds right now. There's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Boy, back to your point, Kobe Brown, he picked up his 4th foul at the 11-minute mark, so he and Dennis Gates, they've squeezed some minutes out of him here with the 4 fouls. And Missouri back within 4. super entertaining game in Knoxville. 6 to shoot. This is Meshack driving in on Carter. Fade away. That's a difficult one. Adu got his hand on it, and East comes away with the board. Mizzou trying to get it back to a 1 or a 2-point game. East high off the glass, tapped out, and now, no, the shot clock does not reset. It did not hit the rim, so the whistle on Ziegler, his 4th, takes us to a timeout. It's been a fun one. Exhilarating finish is coming up.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
We have a guest room now.
But we have ants.
You're slouching again, Ted.
Expired. Expired. Expired.
Thanks, Aunt Bonnie.
It's a lot of house. I hope you can keep it clean.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save a lot of money.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request?
I'll have to check.
Aunt Joni's here.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
After Tennessee fell behind by 17 early in the second. This Santiago Vescovi bucket last week used to play in this building. Wadley, shot clock is improvised. Back to Ziegler. Launches. Finish at the work. Great.
You see Brown straight right there. Normally it's a big someone comes over to the weak side shot there. A big Tennessee likes that out of their guards. He was really frustrated. Every time he looked up, he saw Mizzou's jersey, and he got flustered. And now he's playing with composure, and he's executing, and he's really playing real well right now for Tennessee. That's why they're up.
He is tough. So is the man behind him, Ncaa Ziegler. You're right. He had just the 1 basket in the first half. Now 11 overall. And so it's Tennessee that had a couple of clunky recent offensive performances. Still a very efficient offense that has really turned on the Jets. They've got 44 points in the second half with 3:36 to go, trying to ward off a really good Mizzou team.
Without question. And Key is a part of that now because they've gone with the 3 guards.
Okay.
And it's changed their look.
Key with 23 and Tennessee high. Timeout there for Tennessee. Vescovi, Meshack, Key, Ziegler, the guards, then Awaka, and Mizzou. They are playing without Kobe Brown on the bench with 4 fouls. Mohamed Diarra has fouled out. No Isaiah Mosley and Trey Gamillion available today.
Missouri's playing with a lot of poise. Yeah. To have a lead, lose a lead, the franticness of this pace and this crowd, and to keep your composure, and to do it without your best player being on the floor.
Brown playing with the 4 fouls, back to a 2-point game after the Carter free throws. Well, the winner of this one will have earned it. Ziegler offline, missed everything, but Key was underneath. Shot clock doesn't reset, down to 6. Ziegler improvises into the paint, blocked from behind. You know, some rare minutes late in the game for Mabor Majok. And he blocks a critical shot with 1 on the timer, though. And then a foul on Awaka.
Yep. Look, you see that ferociousness on the glass. This is where Missouri has stepped up and undersized, but they're doing a good job of keeping and balancing and fighting on the glass.
I mean, this is a critical moment for the junior transfer from Cleveland State. His first free throws of the year. Just the 6th game for Mabor Majok.
But this is the time where you find out about yourself and you're being challenged. If you're a good team, you have to go through the fire. This is the fire right now.
Well, he gets 1, and it's back to a 1-point game.
But you're in a possession game. If you can get a stop, you can get Brown back in the game.
Key, the blow by, feeds Awaka, banks it in. Tennessee ahead by 3. But then a foul on Ziegler. That's his 5th.
And Rick Barnes is furious. He is really, really upset. That was a gamble not worth taking.
Oh, man, that's your floor general who now goes to the bench.
But you score, you're up 3, you countering with defense. This is what you practice every day. Time and score. Let us win it with that. We don't need to gamble.
So Rick Barnes is going to replace Ziegler with Olivier Kamwa. Again, no Josiah James, out with the left ankle sprain. Julian Phillips, we were told he was questionable to return. At this point, we're not going to see him. He's got the hip flexor issue.
Rick Barnes is not happy with Ziegler right now.
And East converts the first.
He is still talking to him. He is, because you go over that. You go over that in film room. You go over that in practice. You talk about that.
East took that. The schoolyard move behind the back. Those are two critical ones. 1 point game in Knoxville. Missouri looking to be the second team to upend number 6 of the nation this week. Vescovy!
The leader steps up again. That's what he does for this Tennessee team. He comes up with big plays.
East cut off by Meshack. Terrific defender. Forces him to pass back out to Golston.
Golston or East need to step up and make a basket.
High archer. Oh, Golston!
Know your scouting reports.
You got those national championship banners up there for that Pat Summit hung. I mean, that was it's like touch on the bottom of one. 1 point game again. Inside of 2 minutes now, Perry.
If Missouri makes a stop, they'll call a timeout and get Brown back in the game.
Here's Key in the paint. Now Vescovy, head fake, one dribble, the three, way off. Offensive board to Owaka. He is just relentless on the boards. And that's now 6 rebounds for him, mostly on the offensive glass. 10 on the timer now. Tennessee has to do something. Meshack spins, lost it, but bailed out by a foul. So Meshack has free throws coming when we return. Or, pardon me, we're going to keep it here. Hodge was just whistled for his 5th.
You don't want him to pick up his 5th. Again, Missouri got beat on the offensive glass, but it's not the end of the world because it gets Brown back in the game in a possession game.
Wow, so Ziegler is fouled out. Hodge for Missouri. And Dennis Gates, he's got Nick Honor there and Kobe Brown, who is nursing 4 fouls himself. So he will replace Majuk. Boy, tip your hat to the junior. Again, barely plays, just his 6th game. Hit that free throw, the block on the other end to keep this a close game. We have had a lot of
guys have stepped up.
Yes.
A lot of guys have stepped up on both teams. That's why both of these 2 teams are NCAA caliber teams.
Oh, he'll take it. A very entertaining one. A lot of highlights and just exhilarating moments. Tennessee hoping to stretch this to a 3-point lead. Now, Missouri, keep in mind, just 1 timeout. Tennessee has 2. Here we go. 1 possession game. 1:15 to go.
East, Golston, or Brown.
East getting downhill. Back to Golston. Hit that high arcing 3 a moment ago on the baseline. Not that time. Tennessee the board. It's a 3-point lead.
They don't need to foul.
They don't have to
They don't need to
automatically
foul.
do that. They can be aggressive. Honor slaps it away. It should stay with Tennessee, though, and it does. So the Vols inbound underneath the hoop with 44.7. And, yeah, you playing this out, right?
Without question, you play it out. Honor, again, he goes from behind and tries to smack it out. That's what I'm saying. Once you beat a Missouri player, you have to put the ball in front of you because they're smacking it from behind. Vescovy, that's the guy. Vescovy or Key. You got to watch one of those 2 guys.
Vescovy with 11 of his 14 in the second half. Mizzou desperate for a stop. Now it's 8 seconds. Vescovy, step back. No. Boy, that would have been a dagger. Awaka trying to save it. Ball back to Missouri. Goodness, Awaka went flying over the bench, and now he gets up and is going to get the ovation.
It's that kind of game. It means that much. I'm just telling you, this game is extremely important for the psyche of both of these two teams. Tennessee knows that they're a good team, but to come in and to play with 2 starters down, being 17 down, and come back at home, it just does a lot for your psyche.
Oh, man. Yeah, it feels like both of these teams have been knocked to the mat. They've gotten up. They've beaten the 10-second count. By the way, look at Awaka go flying here.
You think he wants this game? I mean, Missouri coming in here, playing this Tennessee team after Tennessee comes off a loss. This place was electric.
It's like the stunt man going over the seats that time. So Tennessee just took the timeout. It has one no, pardon me. Missouri just took that. It's out of timeouts. Tennessee has 2 left. You got 28 seconds left. So, yeah, Dennis Gates is, seemingly drawing up one final look. Now, again, you got 28 seconds. So, Perry, what would you do? You could go to the rim and get something, or you can look for that 3. What is being drawn up right now?
I think you've got to go through action. I think that you got to have either someone coming off of a screening action, or you've got to have a post up with Brown maybe at the elbow and splitting the shooters off of it, but you got to get some movement. I don't think you can do it off the dribble one-on-one. That's a tough way to do it. But if anybody can do it, having said all that, Golston and East are the 2 guys that are capable of doing that.
Golston with 15, East with 16. They both have hit some critical threes. They've scored at the rim. High-level SEC battle. And we thought that coming in. We knew it would be a compelling one. And here's Missouri, though. The roles have reversed. The Tigers had a 17-point second half lead, but they took that lead with 17 minutes to go in the game. And we expected the Tennessee run. They went up by 6. Mizzou then chipped away at that deficit. So 1 possession game with 28 seconds to go, and no timeouts now for Mizzou. So
now with Tennessee, they won't pressure. They're not going to give up something cheap in the backcourt. But do they switch on screens, or do you stay with your matchups? Who's got Brown? Okay. And now do you just flatten everybody to the baseline and let him just go?
If Tennessee fouls, it sends Mizzou to the line for 2. Honor looking. 11 seconds. This is Brown. Attacks. Goes up. Puts it in. 1-point game with 7.7. So Mizzou must foul immediately. Half a second comes off the clock. Vescovy going to the line. Does this not feel like a couple of days ago?
Without question. Coach Gates is saying, what do we need to do to get an and 1? That was a big-time shot right there. There you see the drive. Good basket right there. Again, these are really good officials. They just let them play. They just let them play. I got no problem with that. But certainly if I'm Coach Gates, I'm saying and 1.
Kobe Brown with 21. It's a 1-point game. Vescovy has 2. Wednesday, his team was up by 2. He had a 1-and-1. An opportunity to maybe put his team ahead by 2 possessions in the waning seconds of that game against
I guarantee you he's been on the line practicing that same situation. We call it time and score. And I'm sure Coach Barnes has had them go through time and score.
Missed the front end a couple of days ago. Today, not this time. Converts them both. 3-point lead for Tennessee. Timeout, Rick Barnes. With 7.1 to go, Missouri is going to have a chance to potentially send this one to overtime. Now, the Tigers are out of timeouts. Tennessee has 1. A foul sends Missouri to the line, so that's something that
again has the team rebound. They don't have one dominant rebounding player.
This is as Brown, assertive attack. Oh, acrobatic finish at the...
There, you see Brown, great drive there. Normally it's a big flag where someone comes over from the weak side to challenge a big. There was no big foul and stick them on the line. I used to depend on our defense. I didn't want to foul because I didn't want somebody raising up at the last minute and fouling, and and we really didn't practice fouling in those situations a lot. So I always say it's what you practice. This is what you need to count on right now.
Buckle up. Here we go.
This has been a heck of a game.
Phenomenal battle. 5 out there for Mizzou. Carter, East, Brown, Golston, and then Honor. No DeMoy Hodge. He's fouled out.
I would look for Golston trying to get a 3. East not paying attention.
Carter, the bullet. Brown flips to East, dribbling, and then he's fouled by Meshack. So Sean East is going to the free throw line, and now this is where it gets a little dicey because there's 4.2 left. And now you got to figure out on the fly, if you're Sean East and this Mizzou Tigers team, how do you want to do this thing?
Make them both.
Yep.
You make them both.
Well, first things first, Sean East at the line, a senior from Louisville, 84% at the stripe. He's been terrific shooting the ball. Missed the first.
Now you almost have to, you need to miss the second.
You would need the tap out for a 3. Converts it. So 4.2 left, and Missouri's got a foul immediately. And Nick Honor does that, and he sends Vescovy to the line.
Vescovy is the best at making you foul him or make the referees feel like he's being fouled. He creates contact.
Again, we always reference Reggie Miller in those sort of situations, but you actually saw Nick Honor there saying, I think he was pleading his case to Pat Adams, say, no, he was actually grabbing my arm. 4.2 left, Vescovy at the line. I take it back. This is the exact scenario now as Wednesday in Nashville for Tennessee, although he does have 2 to put this game essentially away. At that point, if Vescovy converts both, 4.2 left, you really just don't have enough time, barring any sort of crazy 4-point play. All right, well, things have just gotten a little spicier in the final seconds.
Yeah, they're looking for a hook and hold on the last foul. And, these officials have done a magnificent job of officiating this game and letting guys play and not dominating. They're looking whether or not that's a hook and hold right there.
Wow. And, they might be looking at, so does Vescovy clamp down?
Yeah, but they're looking at it. They're looking at it on Honor. Common foul. Common foul. And that's what I'm saying. Vescovy does a really good job of creating and accepting contact. Pat Adams is coming over.
Yep. Yeah, just the common foul. Now, imagine if that was added to the play. That would have been a flagrant 1.
Yeah.
So instead, Vescovy back at the line, where he's 4 of 4 at the stripe tonight, and 2 would essentially lock it up, barring any sort of wild final sequence. Okay.
The door's still open.
Yep. No timeouts for Dennis Gates. Even if he makes or misses, and assuming in a Missouri rebound, they're going to have a chance. 4.2. Wait a second, though. So a lane violation. No, just a foul. That's an offensive foul on Awaka. So that free throw wouldn't have mattered even if it went in. Missouri basketball with a chance to maybe win it.
Now they've got to set up.
East is inbounding. No timeouts. You got Golston. Couple of dribbles.
He's got to shoot.
2 seconds. Lets it go for the win. Oh! Got it!
Oh!
An amazing finish. If it counts, and it looked like he got it off.
It looked like it counted.
Oh,
he got it.
man.
There was nobody else to pass the ball to. There was nobody. You know, I mean, it was an incredible shot.
Oh, my gosh.
It was
He had about 2 or 3 dribbles, recognized and let it go. Officials at the monitors, I think this is...
We can't see it. We got cheerleaders and everything. They're leaving the floor. So I'm assuming it is.
It's
good.
official. Missouri with a miracle heave at the horn. And this Tennessee week of torment continues.
Golston was the only guy that could push the ball. There was nobody else to get it to. He goes, he pushes it up. He gets a good look. He gets a great look and knocks it down.
Missouri at the buzzer gets it done. An incredible road win in Knoxville. And here's Tennessee. Oh my goodness, feeling a little bit of the PTSD, losing like this at the buzzer, back-to-back games. And it's DeAndre Golston, the hero. He finished with 18 points. Final, Missouri 86, Tennessee 85. The miracle heave does it. For Perry Clark and our entire great crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. We're going to the studio. Hey, guys, how about that?
The reaction in the studio, you probably heard it down the road in Charlotte.
Wow.
You probably heard him for the entire second half down the road in Charlotte. But
first time he's speechless.
You've handled this well.
Wow.
That wasn't that. I mean, what a game.
Wow.
Let's watch it one more time.
Yeah.
We are waiting. I think we're going to get DeAndre Golston here with us in just a minute. Let's watch it again. First of all, missed front end, and then a foul on the second free throw.
What I love about that is he had a little more time to take one.
He did
dribble, but
it would have been more contested, right?
It would have been more contested, and he wouldn't have had the balance because he would have had to rush it over somebody. But he got to a sweet spot, Slay, where he could get both feet down, good balance, and just let it fly.
And if you're Tennessee, you let them get a full head of steam, didn't make them turn once or twice or nothing. So that's difficult, man. Golly.
You're right. Even
plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Great look at it.
Gave him a place to land.
Yeah, that's right.
So think about. I mean, I don't even want
as a ball handler though, you want to turn a guy at least.
Sure, I think initially they tried to in that inbounds pass, but you're right because they were able to get a little bit ahead of steam going up.
Yeah.
So think of Tennessee the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Because they had to defend Auburn in that last second.
That's right, the 46-43 game.
The very, the incident where did he let him land?
Right. Wendell Green, yeah.
And then Vandy game, obviously.
But and you were at last second shot.
Yeah.
The last 2 games in a span of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days.
Whew.
2 losses.
I'll say this though, that last second shot, incredible by Golston, right?
Yeah.
Tyron Lawrence, incredible. However, it is the plays that lead up to that opportunity.
That's what I was going to say.
Missed free throw, foul.
Yep.
So those things, and it happened in the Vanderbilt game too, missed free throw to allow that to happen.
Well, and let's give some credit here to Missouri too, because they got their doors blown off much of that second half.
Yep.
They had a 17-point lead, turned drastically the other way. I don't know what Tennessee's biggest lead was in the second half. I'm looking at that right now.
I believe it was 6, if I'm mistaken.
6, yeah. And to battle back in that building, 20,000 people going nuts, props to them. I mean, again, what Dennis Gates has done, the growth of this program in his first year, I don't think we're going to have Golston. I was hoping we would, but wow.
He's probably still at the bottom of the pile.
I would be, but you got to understand.
Stick a mic in there. Let's talk to
what
him.
Gates has built it's a reflection of the coach. You didn't see him not one time walking up and down the sideline hooting and hollering and smacking the tape. He smiled a couple of times like, ooh, we should have got some of these calls. But outside of that, you saw it in a reflection of Hodge, getting open shots, not panicking, ghosting the same way. That's what they have right there, Missouri. And they know they can rely on them, even with foul trouble with Big Kobe Brown. But to Tennessee, even though with those plays, the foul, the missed free throw, the thing is, Ncaa put them in this situation. The game before, Phillips put them in this situation. You got to have high IQ plays from your guys that you depend on to be out there. Ncaa don't foul out and take reaching in the backcourt when you're up 6. Don't just let them walk to the line, stop the clock. It's difficult.
11 points, 10 assists.
Yeah, great game. But they need you down the stretch.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine him on the ball, whoever gets it, and he's in front of them. Then you don't get a straight run to get a shot off like that.
2:48. By the way, he fouled out with 2:48 to go. Tennessee didn't hit a basket in the final 2:30.
There you go.
Shows how important it is.
That's big. That's a big loss.
And that's, not only is he your best player right now, certainly throughout the season he has been, but that's your engine, right?
Yes.
That's the guy you go to at the end of games. You want a point guard with some experience. It's like worth its weight in gold.
On both ends of the floor, sure.
Absolutely.
On both ends of the floor. He leads them.
So credit to Missouri. They're so difficult to defend, and Coach Perry Clark talked about it there because they've got 5 guys on the floor most of the time that can break you down. They can all shoot, they can all pass, they can all dribble.
Right.
And it makes for a tough matchup against any team. I love it. It reminds me of how we played back in the 90s under Coach Nolan Richardson, right? Because they get out, they press you, and it's just read and react. The offense is spread out, read and react. Is there an overplay?
Yeah.
I'm going to cut back door. Come, I'll give you a screen. We'll just play off of that. So they're difficult to get ready for because you don't practice like that every day. They want to get up and down. That's a challenge of Missouri, is like they play so fast that you don't see it. You don't get a chance. So by the time you realize it's the second half, now, okay, we're getting used to their speed.
You're awesome. I'm just the hard luck.
Yeah.
The last 3 games before this, they'd averaged 55 points. They finally score 85 and still lose.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons for that, too, is because Missouri, their pace, you're going to get more possession.
No question about it.
You're going to get more possession.
No question about it.
But I think it's good also, Tennessee takes out of this, you're able to play a different style. Like, I think this was their style of pace that they need to play the rest of the season. Even though you went small, even with your bigs, you got to get up into people, press 3/4 court, and just get the flow of the game going. But this will go back to coaches also. They always say that one play didn't lose the game. You're absolutely right in these last 2 games.
Sure.
One play, that shot didn't lose it. It was a series of plays that happened.
For the record, all 3 of us would have sent Kobe Brown to the line for an and one on the layup where he got knocked down and there was no call. So it does go both ways, and Dennis Gates was frustrated, and rightfully so. I think we all thought, but in the end they get the win. The road team has won the last 5 games between these two. How about that?
Wow.
And Missouri has won 5 of their last 6 overall. All right, let's look at what's going on. That game has just gone final in Fayetteville. Mississippi State and Arkansas. State comes in. Both of these teams come in on winning streaks here. Arkansas, Anthony Black gets the layup there. Hogs down 5.
Hey,
this is brother.
Look just like them.
I'll tell you what, Coach James.
State's won 4 in a row, by the way.
If you're not going to play defense and just lock down, you're not going to play for Mississippi State and Coach James. I mean, that's a non-negotiable.
It's Eric Reed Jr. left alone, and then Ricky Council.
He does dunk contest dunks.
He does. Wow. But they lost the game anyway, 70-64. How about that? So we talk about Missouri with a big road win in a hostile environment. State with a big road win in a hostile environment. You look at Mississippi State, you look at Vandy, you're like, oh my goodness, if you could have started better. Look out, right?
Who's that? On line 1, Joey Brackets, Mississippi State. Does this get him in?
Does it? That's a great question.
They're under consideration right now.
That's a great win. I mean, that's a quad 1 win. Like that's a quad 1 win. That will certainly help. Like bracketology is going to look weird because Kentucky's out right now. All right, A&M. This team's hot too after a slow start to their season. They got LSU. How about what that guy's done running the operations when they got to basketball?
Yeah, Wade Taylor is going to be extremely important in their half-court offense. LSU, they're a good defensive team. They want to slow things down, take the air out of the basketball, so half-court offense efficiency.
KJ Williams for LSU, a guy that I said at the beginning of the SEC season, this man could go get the SEC Player of the Year. They had a little downslide, more than a little downslide, but he's a guy, double walking. You got to ride your big fella, man. You got to pull everybody else along.
I mean, look, if an 11-game losing streak's a little downslide, I'd like to know what a big one is.
It might have been on the razor blade, but hey, I'm just saying.
All right, so how do they hang around? How do they hang around? It's a home game.
Yeah.
That helps. Yeah. But how does LSU make this interesting into the second half?
First things first, you got to keep Texas A&M off the line. You know they're going to try to get downhill.
Nobody
and
shoots more than they do.
Exactly. And those, in a sense, are free points, at least free tries at them. So if you eliminate that from the game and control the bigs, man, Marble and the big fella, man, and Coleman are playing great.
So, LSU, they got to keep Boots Radford out of the lane. He's a hard-driving lefty. And also, A&M is going to throw so many different defenses at you. You got to take care of the basketball. They want to turn you over. And they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. I'm talking about A&M.
Yeah.
So just those simple things. Rebound, take care of the basketball. You're giving yourself a chance right there.
And that's with the guards as well. You got to keep Boots off the boards as well.
Yeah, he's a good offensive rebounding guard.
I'm just thinking ahead. After this game's over, we got a full 60-minute SEC now. And I'm just like, I'm thinking of the day here. Georgia beats Kentucky.
Yes.
Vandy wins at Florida.
Yes.
Missouri wins at Tennessee. Mississippi State wins at Arkansas.
Confusing.
What a wild day in this league.
You know what it is, though, Dar? Do you want to show you're for real? Well, going down the stretch of this SEC season, you're going to have each opportunity to do that. Yeah. And those teams you just named are showing that they want to do something in this SEC tournament.
It shows you that these teams have a lot to play for every time out. First-year head coaches in transition, they got to prove things. Transfers are trying to prove something.
Yep.
So in Lenardi's projections by conference, of the top 8 teams in the SEC, according to his projections, 5 have already lost. There's a little hope for LSU because A&M's in that mix as well. Let's get you out there.
Thanks, Dory. It is an SEC Saturday night in Baton Rouge. What a day in the SEC. 5 of the 6 road teams